luxury woman codes that make you look expensive. The elegant habits wealthy-looking women use that cost absolutely nothing. Have you ever noticed something absolutely unfair? There are women who can walk into a room wearing a plain white shirt, simple trousers, flat shoes, and absolutely no visible designer labels. Yet somehow they look like they own a vineyard in Tuscany, a beach house nobody talks about, and a lawyer whose hourly rate could fund a small nation. Then there are other people wearing enough designer logos to qualify as a walking billboard, and somehow they still look like they got dressed during a panic attack inside a discount outlet. How does that happen? What secret meeting are we all missing? Is there a hidden luxury club where wealthy-looking women gather every Tuesday to exchange elegant secrets while sipping sparkling water from glasses that cost more than our electricity bill? The answer is surprisingly simple. Luxury has very little to do with money, and almost everything to do with behavior. Because people don't just see what you wear, they see how you move, how you speak, how you react, how you carry yourself, how comfortable you are in your own skin. In other words, people don't just judge a handbag, they judge the person carrying it. And here's the fascinating part. Many of the habits that make someone appear elegant, sophisticated, confident, and incredibly expensive cost absolutely nothing. $0, £0, €0, not even a coupon. Today, we're revealing 15 luxury women codes that instantly elevate your presence without spending a single cent. These are the subtle psychological habits that make people assume you're successful, confident, and completely in control, even if your current financial strategy is whispering please go through while tapping your bank card. And trust me, some of these codes are so powerful that people start treating you differently almost immediately. But stay until the very end because code number 1 is the master code. It's the foundation that makes every other luxury habit work. Once you understand it, you will never look at elegance the same way again. And before we begin, if you enjoy psychology, timeless elegance, social intelligence, and discovering the hidden behaviors that make ordinary people appear extraordinary, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the World Elegance Code, and join a community of people who understand that true class isn't purchased, it's practiced. Now, let's begin. She doesn't rush everywhere. Luxury moves differently. Have you ever seen a queen sprinting through a shopping mall, waving a sandwich and yelling, "Wait for me"? Probably not. Elegant women understand something most people forget. When you're constantly rushing, you unconsciously communicate that life is controlling you. Luxury communicates the opposite. Control, composure, direction. Now, let's be realistic. If your bus is pulling away, run. This is elegance, not unemployment. But during ordinary daily life, elegant women move with intention rather than panic. They walk as though they know where they're going, even when they're secretly wondering whether they parked on level 2, level 3, or in another dimension entirely. The fascinating thing is that slower movement often creates an impression of confidence. Why? Because panic looks uncertain, calm looks powerful, and people naturally associate calmness with competence. The woman speed walking like she's escaping a crime documentary creates one impression. The woman moving with quiet confidence creates another. Neither spent any money, yet one appears significantly more luxurious. And speaking of first impressions, the next code makes people judge your confidence before you even say a single word. She masters the art of sitting well. You would be amazed how much elegance happens while doing absolutely nothing. Specifically, sitting. Most people don't sit, they collapse. They descend into chairs like laundry being thrown into a basket. 1 second they're standing, the next second gravity has claimed victory. Elegant women approach sitting differently. Not stiffly, not dramatically, and definitely not like they're auditioning for a royal documentary. They simply sit with awareness. Their posture quietly communicates self-respect. Their body language says, "I belong here," without ever saying a word. Psychologists have long observed that posture influences how others perceive us. People often decide whether someone appears confident within seconds, long before conversation begins, long before introductions happen, long before anyone discusses career achievements or life goals. Which means your chair may be revealing more about your confidence than your awesome ever will. The good news, Improving posture costs exactly nothing. No subscription required. No luxury package. No monthly payment plan. Just awareness. And unlike some investments, this one starts paying immediately. She doesn't over-explain herself. This habit instantly separates confidence from anxiety. Imagine this conversation. I can't make it tonight. Normal response. Simple, clear, done. Now compare it to this. I can't make it tonight because traffic is unpredictable. My cousin's dog is having emotional difficulties. My neighbor borrowed my charger. Mercury is in retrograde. And I had a strange feeling after lunch. By the time the explanation ends, everyone has aged slightly. Elegant women understand a powerful truth. Not every decision requires a documentary. Not every boundary requires a courtroom defense. Not every choice needs 15 supporting witnesses and a PowerPoint presentation. Confident people trust themselves. They understand that no is a complete sentence. That I can't attend is often enough. That healthy adults do not require a 47-page explanation every time someone declines an invitation. Ironically, the less people over-explain, the more confidence they appear to have. Because self-respect often sounds simple, and simplicity always feels expensive. She treats everyone with respect. This is where genuine elegance reveals itself. Because anyone can be polite to important people. Anyone can smile at a millionaire. Anyone can suddenly discover excellent manners when speaking to someone powerful. Real luxury appears when there is nothing to gain. How do you speak to the cleaner, the waiter, the receptionist, the driver, the assistant, the security guard, the stranger asking for directions? That's where character lives. And character is the one luxury item nobody can counterfeit. People notice these things far more than we realize. A woman who treats everyone with kindness immediately appears more sophisticated than someone carrying a handbag worth thousands while speaking disrespectfully to staff. Why? Because true class is behavior, not branding. A luxury logo can be purchased. A luxury character must be developed, and people instinctively know the difference. She keeps her voice calm. Have you ever noticed something interesting? The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. The loudest person is usually just the loudest person. Elegant women understand that authority doesn't need a megaphone. It doesn't need flashing lights. And it certainly doesn't need to sound like a fire alarm having an emotional breakdown. Instead, they speak calmly, steadily, clearly, even when circumstances are less than ideal. Now, does this mean elegant women never get angry? Of course not. They're human. Someone can still cut them off in traffic. Someone can still send an email that feels personally designed to raise blood pressure. Someone can still say, "Can we have a quick meeting?" and somehow turn that meeting into a 3-hour historical documentary. But luxury women understand a valuable principle. Emotional control creates influence. Think about it. When everyone else is losing their minds, the calm person automatically becomes the emotional anchor of the room. People begin looking toward them, listening to them, trusting them, because calmness signals competence, and competence always looks expensive. Besides, screaming rarely improves situations. Nobody has ever yelled their way into looking sophisticated. Nobody has ever thrown a dramatic tantrum and inspired others to whisper, "Wow, what elegance." Luxury energy is quieter than that. Much quieter, and surprisingly more powerful. Retention bridge. Speaking of powerful communication, the next luxury code is one of the rarest social skills in modern life. Because today, many people are terrified of it. She knows when to stop talking. Silence, the most underrated luxury accessory on earth. Today, many people treat conversation like a competition. Who can speak the longest? Who can share the most stories? Who can turn a simple question into a 20-minute podcast episode? Elegant women understand something different. Conversation is not a hostage situation. Nobody should feel trapped. Luxury women know when to contribute. And more importantly, they know when to stop. They don't feel obligated to fill every pause, every silence, every moment of stillness, because they understand that silence isn't awkward. Our fear of silence is awkward. There's a huge difference. Sometimes silence shows confidence. Sometimes silence shows wisdom. Sometimes silence prevents saying something that would require 3 days of regret and 2 apology messages. The truly fascinating thing is that comfortable silence often makes people appear more secure. Why? Because insecure people frequently feel pressured to constantly prove themselves. Confident people don't. They're comfortable being present without performing, and that level of comfort feels incredibly elegant. After all, diamonds don't announce themselves every 30 seconds. They simply sit there being valuable. She doesn't compete for attention. This one is becoming increasingly rare because modern life often rewards visibility. Post more, share more, announce more, reveal more. Look at me, look at me. Please continue looking at me. Elegant women play a different games. They focus on presence rather than attention. And the difference is enormous. Attention says, notice me. Presence says, you already have. Attention chases. Presence attracts. Attention begs. Presence exists. Luxury women don't enter every room trying to become the center of the universe. They don't constantly interrupt conversations. They don't manufacture drama for relevance. They don't need every spotlight because they understand a profound truth. The people who desperately seek attention often appear less confident. The people who don't need it frequently become the most interesting people in the room. Why? Because confidence creates curiosity. Desperation creates discomfort. One draws people closer, the other pushes them away. Think about the most memorable people you've ever met. Chances are they weren't trying the hardest. They simply had presence. And presence always looks expensive. She protects her personal life. Luxury women understand the value of privacy, not secrecy. Privacy. There's a difference. Today, many people feel pressure to share everything. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, arguments, reconciliations, achievements, disappointments, medical updates, relationship updates, weather updates, updates about the updates. At some point, life begins looking less like living and more like a reality television show nobody requested. Elegant women understand that not everything requires an audience. Not every achievement needs immediate broadcasting. Not every disagreement deserves public discussion. Not every moment needs documentation. Some experiences become more meaningful when they remain personal. And here's something fascinating. Mystery creates value. Humans naturally become curious about what isn't constantly available. That's why luxury brands don't usually scream. They whisper. They understand scarcity. The same principle applies to personal information. The less available everything becomes, the more valuable it often feels. Besides, protecting your peace is significantly easier when the entire internet isn't involved in your business. A highly recommended strategy. She maintains beautiful manners. Good manners are like timeless black dresses. They never go out of style, no matter how trends change, no matter how technology evolves. No matter how many new social media platforms appear and disappear before you've learned how to use them. Elegant women understand this. They say please. They say thank you. They arrive on time. They apologize when necessary. They listen when others speak. They acknowledge effort. They respect people's time. None of these behaviors cost money, yet they create enormous value because manners communicate respect, and respect builds trust. Imagine two people. One is fashionable but rude. The other is ordinary but considerate. Which one leaves a better impression? Almost always the second, because people rarely remember every outfit, but they remember how they were treated. Luxury behavior isn't complicated. It's often remarkably simple. The challenge isn't learning it. The challenge is practicing it consistently. Which brings us to another habit that instantly makes people appear more sophisticated. She never chases validation. This one changes everything. Many people unknowingly spend years seeking permission. Permission to feel attractive. Permission to feel successful. Permission to feel valuable. Permission to feel enough. Elegant women gradually stop playing that game. They understand that self-worth cannot be outsourced, because if confidence depends entirely on external approval, confidence becomes unstable. One compliment creates happiness. One criticism creates crisis. One rejection creates self-doubt. That's exhausting. Luxury women develop something stronger. Internal validation. They know who they are. They know their values. They know their strengths. And they know that disagreement does not equal failure. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will approve of you. Not everyone will understand you. And surprisingly, that's perfectly fine. The moment a woman stops chasing approval from everyone is often the moment she becomes significantly more attractive, confident, and elegant. Why? Because confidence becomes authentic, and authentic confidence is impossible to fake. Money can buy many things. It cannot buy genuine self-assurance. She keeps things simple. Luxury loves simplicity. Meanwhile, chaos loves complications. Have you noticed how some people turn every situation into an Olympic event? A simple dinner becomes a logistical operation requiring maps, spreadsheets, weather reports, and perhaps international negotiations. Elegant women simplify, not because they're lazy, because they're intentional. Their communication is clear, their routines are manageable, their decisions are thoughtful, their lives are not crowded with unnecessary drama. Simple doesn't mean boring. Simple means refined. Think about luxury hotels, luxury restaurants, luxury architecture. Most share one characteristic: clarity. They remove distractions. They focus on what matters. Elegant women apply the same principle to life. They understand that adding more isn't always improvement. Sometimes elegance comes from subtraction. Less clutter, less drama, less confusion, less noise. And somehow, that always appears more expensive. Now we're entering the top for luxury codes. These habits separate temporary elegance from genuine sophistication. And the next one might be the most difficult skill on this entire list. She respects herself. And now we arrive at the master code, the foundation beneath every other luxury habit, the principle that quietly powers everything on this list: self-respect. Without it, the other codes become performance. With it, they become natural. Because women who genuinely respect themselves behave differently. Not arrogantly, not selfishly, not superior to others, simply differently. They create healthy boundaries. They protect their time. They protect their peace. They protect their energy. They understand that access to them is a privilege, not a public utility. They don't tolerate constant disrespect. They don't repeatedly accept treatment that diminishes them. They don't remain in situations that consistently damage their dignity. And perhaps most importantly, they don't need to announce their worth, because secure people rarely do. Have you noticed that? The people constantly shouting about how valuable they are often seem desperate for confirmation. Meanwhile, truly confident people move quietly. They let behavior speak. Luxury women understand this deeply. They know that self-respect isn't what you say about yourself. It's what you consistently allow. It's the standards you maintain when nobody is watching. It's the boundaries you enforce when they're inconvenient. It's the decisions you make when emotions are involved. Here's a fascinating truth about human psychology. People usually treat us according to the standards we repeatedly accept. If someone continually tolerates disrespect, many people eventually assume disrespect is acceptable. If someone consistently maintains healthy standards, people adjust accordingly. In other words, self-respect teaches others how to treat you, not through speeches, not through threats, not through dramatic announcements, through consistent behavior. And that is one of the most elegant forms of power that exists. Because true confidence doesn't demand respect, it naturally attracts it. And nothing looks more expensive than that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So what have we learned today? Luxury was never hiding inside a designer handbag. It wasn't hiding behind a logo. It wasn't hiding inside a shopping receipt. And it definitely wasn't waiting at the bottom of an online checkout page. The most expensive looking women in the world often possess something far more valuable than fashionable possessions. They possess elegant habits. Habits that cost absolutely nothing. Think about these 15 luxury women codes. Walking with purpose. Sitting with confidence, speaking calmly, protecting privacy, maintaining manners, avoiding validation seeking, controlling reactions, respecting themselves. None require wealth, none require status, none require a personal shopper named Sebastian who only communicates through handwritten notes. They simply require awareness, practice, and consistency. Because true elegance isn't purchased overnight. It's developed daily, one small habit at a time. One conversation at a time, one decision at a time. And here's the beautiful part. Anyone can begin today. Not next month, not next year. today, right now, without spending a single dollar. So tell us in the comments, which of these 15 luxury woman codes do you already practice? And which one do you think is the hardest for people in today's world? Is it controlling reactions, protecting privacy, avoiding validation, or perhaps respecting yourself enough to maintain healthy boundaries? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the World Elegance Code. Because every week, we uncover the hidden social rules, timeless principles, psychological insights, and elegant habits that transform ordinary presence into extraordinary influence. Join our growing community of people who understand a powerful truth. True class isn't loud. True confidence isn't desperate. True luxury isn't purchased. It's practiced. And the most expensive thing a woman can wear is self-respect. We'll see you in the next video.